Hello, One Talk. Welcome to the Unicorn Emprise podcast, the podcast for PNG entrepreneurs earning between 0 to 1 million plus Kina in revenue who want to gain financial clarity, build business structure, and become tax confident. I'm your host, Vanessa, a registered public accountant, CPA, and content creator here in Papua New Guinea. I run my own accounting business called Hello Taxman at home in Port Moresby with my husband and 2 young kids. In this episode, I will be addressing one of the questions from my email subscriber, Joe. In one of my previous episodes, I talked about choosing and using accounting software in your business to manage your finances. And this brought up a conversation with Joe by email about how newbies can choose accounting software. And he had 6 specific questions, and then I will share the factors that I've experienced personally in my business with my clients when onboarding them to use accounting software. So the 6 questions from Joe are: number 1, which accounting software to choose from? Number 2, a list of the free ones. Number 3, cheapest to most expensive. Number 4, which ones are suited for small business? 5, which ones are suited for medium to big business? And 6, user-friendliness, but also gets the job done. Very, very valid questions. Thank you, Joe. You know who you are. Now, before I go on and address these questions and share my experiences in this episode, I will just give a little disclaimer. Whatever I share here is for educational and awareness purposes only. If you need to implement anything, do it at your own risk or seek professional advice. Now that that is out of the way, I want to share the biggest factor that I've observed when it comes to working with accounting software with SME clients that I've come in contact with. There are 3 factors that contribute to the success of using accounting software. I am addressing question number 1 from Joe, which accounting software to choose from. When I say accounting software, I mean cloud accounting or online accounting software. So these are the top tier softwares on the market currently that you can subscribe to personally yourself. I am not talking about something you buy on a CD-ROM and put it on your local drive. No, I am talking about online or cloud accounting software that you as an individual can subscribe to yourself using your Visa card, the one in PNG that you got from your local bank, that one. Now that I've got that question out of the way, question number 1, let's go through those 3 factors that I see play out in my clients. Now, of course, this is based on my personal experience. If you've dealt with another more experienced accountant, it might differ. If you've dealt with a lesser experienced accountant than I, their opinion will differ. But this is me sharing it here on my podcast, and here's what it is. The success of the clientele that I've worked with using online accounting software depends on 3 factors. 1, the business purpose. 2, the money in purpose. And 3, the money out purpose. Business purpose. What do I mean when I say that? So in formal business, you're registered with the IPA, the IRC, and you got a business bank account. There are 2 main purposes in business that I've observed. A, you're making money to survive personally. And B, you are building a machine that solves a profitable problem. These 2 factors I have personally observed contribute to the decision-making process and the actual actions you take around choosing and using accounting software. Now, A, when you're making money to survive personally, it is a business that you register, but you still operate like a table market. Now, this is not me having a go at you. This is just what is existing out there in our country. Okay? There are SMEs who are making money to survive, personally. And then there are SMEs who are building from the ground up a machine that solves a profitable problem. And these are two very distinct purposes that contribute to whether or not you're going to use accounting software, stick with it, and onboard staff and professionals to help you in your finance function. Let's dive into it a little bit more. As I said, if you're just making money as a registered SME to survive personally, your actions and your behaviors and your decision making are typically very different from an SME who is building a machine to solve a profitable problem. If you are an entrepreneur that is building a machine as a business to make profit, your business organizational structure will start to matter to you. You will start to develop a multi-dimensional mindset to design systems inside your business in terms of the sales and marketing processes, the operational processes that deliver your goods or services to your customers, your human resources function. You're going to be thinking about building a team, staff, contractors, that kind of thing. And you will start to build a finance function. And if you aren't an accountant like myself who knows the actual full accounting cycle at a basic level, look, I'm not the best of the best. I'm aware that there are other people who are more experienced than me, but basically, I know what an accounting cycle looks like. I can run it in my own business as an accountant, and I can actually see this cycle in different types of business models. If you're not an accountant like me, you still will see your finance function distinct from the others. And you will start to see that you need an accountant if you're not yourself one who is experienced enough to operate the business. And you will start to see that you might need an accounting team in your finance function. And it depends on the stage that your business is in. Of course, if you are in the 0 to 250,000 kina revenue range, you are a small business. This is for PNG. This is in a PNG context. This is in a taxation context that I'm sharing this. Small businesses are 0 to 250,000 kina in revenue annually. Okay, so if you're in that phase of revenue earning in your business, you're a small business. Medium, you are looking at 250,000 kina to 1 million kina. That is medium. Large is 1 million plus kina. Okay, this is how the IRC views it, and this is how taxation works in our country. In terms of looking at revenue ranges to apply tax rates on. So that was factor number one when choosing an accounting software, is that I typically see my successful clients usually are building a machine to solve a profitable problem. Okay, they have an actual business which has an actual structure, which they actually spend time, invest money and energy into to build out. Compared to if you're running a formal business like a table market, you typically make money to survive personally. Okay, you're not totally committed to building out a business structure. And that's okay, okay? You need to start somewhere. I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm just stating an existing condition, and that can change, okay? You can change the state of being that you are in. This moves on to factor number 2, which is your money in purpose. So when I say money in, that is money coming into your business. So if you're just making money to survive personally, you usually transact in cash transactions. When you are thinking about getting that cash, it is to get food on your table, to pay your rent, to get your kids to school, and that's it. Like it's not really to build a huge organization. It's just to get by, okay? On the other hand, if you're invoicing or you're implementing cash handling policies and management systems to make sure that your business operation itself survives in the long term, your money in purpose will center around getting your payroll done. You want to be paying your staff regularly and on time. You want to be paying your suppliers on time. You want to be keeping your customer base satisfied. The reason why you earn money is distinctly different. Okay, that was factor number 2. Now, factor number 3 is the other side of the coin, money out purpose. So how do you spend money that you get in from your business operations? If you are in that survival cash mode, or your business exists for your personal survival, then you're mixing business and personal expenses. Okay, you have no boundaries. You don't care what you spend the money on in terms of whether or not it's for business operations. It doesn't exist in your consciousness. Or if it does come up, you don't have the capacity to draw those boundaries as yet. There's also the factor that you have registered a business with the IPA and gotten a TIN certificate with the IRC, but you don't actually maintain a business bank account. You're using your personal bank account, and this money that comes in, you're using it like you would a salary. You just use it on anything, and you keep no records. You don't care for whether it's business or personal. Again, I'm not having a go at you. I'm just stating what I've observed happen and what you do, or you've observed other people, depending on who you are at this point in time. On the other side, if you're building a machine of a business that you want to last for the long term, the way you spend your money will have boundaries. Okay? You specifically know that you need a salary and all your personal expenses need to be separated from the business expenses. Even if it's unstructured salary, at some point, you know that your business costs this much in your head, even if you're not using accounting systems or software at the moment. But typically, your business cash has boundaries for business to survive long term and to legally reduce taxes. So when you're that kind of an entrepreneur, you start to care about accounting software. You start to care about building your finance function. You start to care about the long-term survival of your business, and thus the decision-making process around accounting software will be very different to a table market who is registered with the IPA and the IRC. Okay, now let's tell some story-like experiences. I want to share the behaviors of the accounting software clients who have passed through the small business revenue range into the medium and large revenue business range. So these are typically my top 3 clients in my accounting business, and the experience that they've gone through in the past few years that I've been in operation myself. There are 3 factors of successful accounting software clients that I have, and let's go through them one by one. Number 1, the owner themselves invoices their client using cloud accounting software or online accounting software that they've subscribed to themselves. Okay? And these softwares have names. I've seen Xero be used by my clients. I've seen Zoho Books being used and QuickBooks. There's also MYOB. So this is when the owner themselves, they're going to use this accounting softwares to invoice at the basic level. They're invoicing using software. Number 2, the owner employs an accounts officer to use the software or invests in their training to use software, but the owner themselves is unaware of the skill set and experience required in their own business finance function. And what this typically results in no up-to-date monthly reporting. And if the reports are coming through, you have no idea what they mean. Typically, you are behind on taxes. There's penalties you are unaware of or you are very aware of. And there's holes in your payroll, whether or not you are aware of them. So I've seen this manifest in my clients. So I know that in my experience, there are owners who employ accounts officers or accountants, but the accountants are not as experienced as could be to manage an actual finance function. Again, I am not having a go at such people. I am just stating a fact of life that I've observed. And now the third and final behavior that my successful accounting software clients practice when they have passed from the small into the medium and onto the large revenue size business is that they seek the help of experienced accounting and tax professionals to help them manage accounting tasks like bank reconciliation, financial reporting, tax compliance, payroll management, HR management, all the business structural stuff that when you are elevating from a small to medium business, you want to be spending time looking at if you are building for the long term. So in my experience, it is that point where you are earning 100,000 kina per annum and heading into 250,000 kina per annum, selling the same, like your product ecosystem or your service ecosystem is consistent. Okay, Wantok, this will bring us to the point where I go back now to address the other 5 questions from Joe, my email subscriber. We already answered question number 1. Joe's second question was asking for a list of the free ones. In my experience, there's only one free software that I would recommend, and that is Zoho Books. The other softwares like QuickBooks Online, MYOB Online, Xero, FreshBooks, they have free trials if they do. There are limits to the free trials. Even in Zoho Books, the free version has limits, okay? Which brings us to question number 3 that Joe asked, the cheapest to the most expensive software. Now, for the top tier ones, the pricing depends on the type of business operations you are managing and the size of your business operations. Okay, when I say the type, I mean that if you are running a retail business, you are going to be managing inventory or stock. The accounting softwares will cost a little more when you're doing this type of business. Also, if you're in a manufacturing type of business where you get raw materials and then you make a product out of it yourself. I'm not talking about huge business. I'm talking small one, like you make some spices or you sew Mary blouses. You do something that requires getting materials and putting it together to get a finished product. That requires a different type of accounting. So the subscription plan for them will vary according to your needs. So the cheapest to the most expensive, I can't really give you a clear answer. It is more about what type of business you're in and the size of your operations. Now, question number 4 and 5 from Joe are related. He is asking which ones are suited for small businesses and which ones are suited for medium to large businesses. Again, I'm going to remind you of the annual revenue ranges in PNG from a tax perspective, and that is 0 to 250K a year is a small business, 250K to 1 million is a medium business, and 1 million plus per year is a big or large business in PNG in terms of taxation. So if you're not already using an online accounting system, Zoho Books is a nice one to use. I've seen my clients use this. I've used it for my clients, and it does not handle GST. And the reason why I recommend it for smaller businesses earning less than 250K a year is that typically you would not be registered for GST. Unless you're like me and you voluntarily registered for GST, then you would be better off with another software like QuickBooks Online, which is what I use for my own business. They have special features in the accounting system to manage GST transactions for GST compliance. And finally, the last question from Joe was user-friendliness, but also gets the job done. Now, this is another one of those answers that depends, okay? Because user-friendliness looks different to me with accounting experience compared to you. You feel me? If you're totally new to looking at accounting software, then it might seem user unfriendly. So it's a matter of you getting exposed to something, exploring, sitting in the discomfort of having to learn a new accounting software. You got to try it to know it. Okay? So that's one part of the question answered. And the next one was it's user-friendly, but also gets the job done. Now, the definition of job done depends, again, on your accounting exposure and experience. There are some software that only do invoicing, okay? If you are trying to build an actual organization, you want an accounting software that can handle the full accounting cycle. So that is one that can record the money coming into your business, and the money going out of your business, the summary of them. It can spit out the financial reports. The three main ones are the profit and loss statement, the balance sheet, and the cash flow statement. I'm a virtual accountant. That is, I work online from my home with my clients. I don't have an office. I don't go to their office. I can sit at home and do accounting because of online accounting software. So if you need to work remotely, online accounting software enables that. So that's an advantage. That gets the job done in that sense. But if you're a small business owner, of course, if you're just starting up and this is all new, I encourage you to explore. I challenge you to face the learning curve with courage and bravery. Get on the other side of that dip in the learning curve, and then you'll have discipline, experience, and some level of mastery to decide on which accounting software is user-friendly to you. Okay, One Talk M to Soul for now. I'm your host, Vanessa Gaeta, and thank you for listening to the Unicorn Emprise podcast, the podcast for PNG entrepreneurs earning 0 to 1 million plus kina in revenue who want to gain financial clarity, build business structure, and become tax confident.